everyone, I am Ms. Rerecich. I'm the chaplain at Assumption, and I'm here with Ms. Browne and Ms. M. We are here, we're your mental health team, the non-academic support for all students and families. And so it's been a while since we've chatted like this. How have you each been doing?
I've been doing well, thank you.
I like the Christmas decorations behind you, Fala.
Thank you very much.
Very lovely. So we are here to talk about a few things. Fala, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, you know what? I just wanted to talk about the season, the Christmas holiday, and I just wanted to provide some, important points and reminders as we go into the holidays, right?
That's good.
Unfortunately, sometimes for some, this season brings a lot of joy, relaxation with family and friends. But for others, it can bring a lot of social anxiety, depression, seasonal affective disorder,
Yeah.
and just low mood, right? For some, and
Yes.
especially when it comes to grief and loss. So I just
Yes.
wanted to kind of talk about those points for a little bit, right? As you're
Perfect.
aware,
And sometimes families aren't the most functional, so it's not as fun.
That's right.
exactly.
So for some people, they're not looking forward to, when I say people, I mean students, they're not looking forward to 2 weeks off with family or the forced family time that comes with the Christmas dinner or other family
Yeah,
traditions.
and that's a very important point because that's what creates that social anxiety, right?
Yes.
For some for some family, or some individuals not feeling particularly close with family members, and for some that can bring up sensitive environments because they can be triggered by certain family members. And
Yes.
so one way to kind of handle or deal with this is just being able to put your mental health and make it a priority. Like your mental health matters first. So if
Yes.
you have the right to excuse yourself from any, plan in advance from any events, or get-togethers, if you feel that that's going to create increased feelings of anxiety, that you have that right to do so. But I think that comes with planning, right? Without feeling guilty about it, without feeling ashamed, but doing what you need to do to protect you, right? And
Yes.
protect
And
yourself.
again, that's if they're able to.
Yeah,
Some,
and that's
because
true.
as you mentioned, without feeling guilty. Oh, my family was so good at laying on the guilt trips. So
To
it was
be
very hard.
honest, to be honest, sometimes we're going to feel that guilt, and sometimes we can't not go.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yes, I agree. Like excuse yourself if you can, if you have that autonomy and you're able to be like,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm going to sit this one out.
Mhm.
You go right ahead. Do not like you might get a guilt trip, but you got to take care of number one.
Mhm.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
And if you can't, like, validate yourself. Name what's happening. This is hard for me. I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable. Name it. Many have heard me say this. Name it to tame it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
know in previous years, religion teachers, when they talk about it, it's naming it, claiming it, taming it.
Yeah, we might not be able to change what's going on, and you
No.
might not be able to change the situation you're in. But if you can like hold that feeling and give it a little pat on the head, I see
Yeah.
you.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
see you. It's actually going to calm things down.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah,
A
maybe
little
just
bit.
sitting, yeah, exactly. Maybe just sitting with it for a little bit, but not letting it ruin the rest of your day, right?
Yes.
And then sometimes
Yes.
if you know that certain family members bring up certain topics, maybe planning in advance again, if you know that specific family member is going to be there, be like, you know what? Have a conversation beforehand. Be like, you know what? This is a trigger for me. When you bring up, my school and my education or whatever it may be, whatever topic, just be like, is that okay? Giving yourself, having the courage enough to have a courageous conversation to say, you know what, that doesn't sit well with me. And when we, every dinner or last time it just didn't. So if you don't mind, if we cannot bring up that topic, right?
Yeah, good idea.
And I would say if you can't do that with that person, find an ally, whether it's a mom, dad, aunt, sibling, cousin. Find an ally. Yeah, find an ally. And okay, when so and so mentions this, can you get me out of the room? Or that
Or
something.
text your friend.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm in this situation. This sucks for me. Like just send me love.
Yes. Yes. That's a really good point. Because we can't always excuse ourselves. We can't always address that person.
Or sending, or even if you don't want to have a verbal conversation, maybe using it, writing a letter. Like there's always,
Yes.
and it's again within. You don't have to just. This is just options, suggestions, whatever. I always say, start where you're at, right? What you're most
Yes.
comfortable with, right? And
Right.
just
Right.
taking it from there.
And just know when you are talking to that person, you don't have to volunteer a lot of information. You don't owe them a big explanation. Just say, you know what, I don't like it when you mention this.
That's
They
it.
don't have to know why.
Yeah, you're taking care of yourself. I love that we're bringing this up because I mean, honestly, so many times, happy holidays, haven't been that long. And there's this expectation like, okay, great, this is all supposed to be wonderful. Like we're just recognizing and hope that it can give you guys some validation. If you're a person who this is not working for, like we see you and we know. Like it's not happy for everyone.
Exactly.
No.
Sometimes there's that pressure to feel joyous.
Yeah.
Right. So you feel like, oh my gosh, like I have to put on this, I can't be my authentic self.
I don't like it.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing, right? Which is really difficult for some people especially who may be experiencing a loss or grieving or just feeling lonely, right?
Yes.
And sometimes,
Or if I may, even if your family's struggling financially, and that's adding that stress that, oh, I hate this, I don't get what I want, or I can't get what I want because, money's tight with my family. We have to be gentle with ourselves. We have to kind of ride these waves as they come and be gentle with ourselves, taking one day at a time.
And also for those who may be experiencing a loss or loneliness, just knowing that, you can try to create new memories, right? So even if, just trying to give yourself permission to create a new memory, even though you may be missing that person or maybe feeling lonely, like just trying to be in the moment, right? And trying to make the best of it.
Right on point with that, Fala, is I remember when my grandmother died, my cousin, I was clearly devastated. I was 22 years old, and she gave me the best advice that I carried with me, and I share with people who experience a loss. Take something that they did or that you did with that person and continue to do it even though they're not there. So if they, I don't know, this is a silly example, but if they like going to a certain fast food restaurant, maybe take some time for yourself and go enjoy, something from that fast food restaurant that, you're kind of with them in that moment.
Yeah. It's the best way is to try to celebrate, even though it hurts a little bit.
Yes.
Try to celebrate that person and acknowledge, just again, take your feelings, give it a little hug.
Yes.
Name it.
Yeah.
And also, let's not forget the busyness of the season, right? You feel like you're on the go, you're doing holiday partying, you're shopping for gifts, you're spending time with family. Like there's so much, everything's just so fast paced, right? But don't forget to just take a moment, step back, and like take that time out for yourself, for you, right?
Sorry.
Yeah. No. It's about resetting, right? So that sleep, that rest, so that you can reset, right? Yes. It's been a long year. 2021 has been a long year, and I think it's important to also protect your time for yourself as well.
Yes.
Try to get some sleep, proper amount of sleep. Try to drink that water. Try to
exercise, sleep.
Like I know, I mean, it's. I know it's ridiculous sometimes, right? Like it's to even say it because I understand, like with students especially, it's not on the front of their mind. But I promise you guys, if you're getting enough water and getting enough sleep, all of the stressors that we've just discussed are going to be a lot easier.
Yes.
Feel a lot easier, at least, to manage because we can control healthy eating. We can control going to bed a bit earlier. We can control, hydrating ourselves and going for a walk. Those are things we can control. So if we can take care of that, the stuff that we can't control is going to be a little less impactful.
Yes.
Yes. Exactly.
And even if it's taking a quiet moment to enjoy, hot cocoa for yourself, or maybe there's a movie that you like to watch just this time of year, and it doesn't have to be Christmassy, but maybe take that time and just spend time with you.
And I think that's really good, especially for those that may be suffering from seasonal affective disorder, which is a disorder because of the daylight savings. It gets dark really fast. So, being mindful of that and being mindful of scheduling your time around the daylight, doing a lot of activities outdoor to help you. And like Ms. Misener had mentioned, making sure you get your rest, drinking a lot of water are all things that you can do to, again, practice
Yes.
that self-care and to fill up your cup, right? I think
And
that's really important. And most importantly, during the holiday break, don't forget to treat yourself with kindness and care. All right,
yes.
as we begin to set our New Year's resolutions.
Yes, and your comment about going outside to schedule around the daylight, according to our what's that word called? Our natural rhythm. I forget what it's called.
Circadian.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Miss Meisner. When you go outside and get some daylight, it kicks in the circadian rhythm, so it can help you sleep better at night. But we do need to put ourselves into that daylight to get that triggered. And if we don't go outside, then our circadian rhythm will be out of whack.
Yeah,
and it'll
we
be
need
even
some of that
harder.
vitamin D too.
Yes.
So don't sit in your office all day that has no windows.
Exactly.
Amen. I think that
You
applies
feel
to all
better
three of us.
after.
I think all three of us don't have windows in our office.
We know.
No,
That's
that's why I'm
right.
always going out for my favorite Starbucks.
Yes.
and getting
See,
fresh
I
air.
need to do that because Second Cup is not that far from here.
Yeah.
I love
I don't
Second
leave
Cup.
enough. I do
Yeah.
not leave enough. I should.
Neither do I. Maybe we should do it sometime together. Just
Hey
to
guys,
get ourselves out.
admin, we're leaving.
We'll be back in 10 or 15. Any other final tips or strategies?
You know what? I also want to mention, I think one of my students mentioned that, in their household, they're just not, the parents don't really like Christmas, and so it's not really a big celebration in their home. But for those who maybe Christmas is not, your parents are not really into Christmas, they don't really like Christmas, within yourself, you can make Christmas be whatever it may look like. It doesn't have to look like, the big Christmas tree. It doesn't have to look like what you see on TV. You make it your own. So that's really important.
And you can even decorate your own room if you can, right? If you can get some decorations, decorate your own room. So, mom and dad aren't decorating the house. Maybe you can put up some decorations, some lights, maybe a little tree, in your bedroom.
I like my kid who just draws snowflakes and hangs them wherever she wants. My house looks great.
That's good. I also want to bring up something else because I'm hearing from students who are anxious because, and for the past 2 years, really, whenever we went on a break, we weren't come back. And so I've been hearing from some students who are a little, their anxiety levels are high because they're worried. What's going to happen in January? Are we going to come back? Any thoughts or tips on how to manage that anxiety?
You know what? I think always the fear of the unknown for anybody creates a little bit of anxiety. But I think we don't have any information that will say whether or not we're returning. So I think focusing on, again, as Ms. Miner had mentioned earlier, focusing on things that we have no control of is not very helpful. But we can focus on things that we do have control over, right? And that's engaging in healthy habits. That's engaging in healthy coping mechanisms, right? That's thinking about the positive, changing your mindset, right? Not trying to manage the situation, but mind your mindset. Even if we're not back, just being able to pivot. I know that's hard for some people because there's a lot of, change is always difficult. But you know what? We just have to be in the moment and do the best that we can in that moment.
Yes.
I'm going to say same in regards to what those students say and are feeling. Same.
Yeah. I was feeling it too, a couple of weeks ago. It was really like, what does this mean? What does this mean?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, I wouldn't call myself overly consumed with the idea, but I'm definitely a little hesitant and worried. I mean, you hear a loud noise enough times, you're going to jump every time you hear a loud noise. Like this has happened a bunch of times. Like I completely appreciate that anxiety. Yeah. I mean, we don't know. So, I mean, for me, I just want to validate that fear and that experience that it's real and a valid fear. And unfortunately we don't have an answer and we don't know. So yeah, back to what, Fola said, like just try to stay in the moment as best you can.
And I would offer, exactly, I would offer that, like both of you, yes, we validate that feeling, but things are different that didn't exist then. We do have higher vaccination rates. We have the booster shots that's happening. People are masking. There are, things that we can control, like masking or limiting our exposure to public places. So it might feel the same, but we have to, again, it's a self-talk. It's what is contributing to our narrative. It's not the same as before. Before, we didn't have the vaccination rates. We didn't have the vaccine. Now we do. We have booster shots. So things aren't as scary or as ominous.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep taking it one day at a time. Focus on the things that you do have control over, like Fala and Ms. M have mentioned, diet, exercise, your sleep, self-care, that sort of thing. And of course, at the bottom of this video, we will leave websites and phone numbers for the agencies that you can contact should you need it over the holidays or the break. So for those of you who celebrate Christmas, have a gentle, wonderful, joyous, however way you celebrate, we hope it's great. For those of you who don't celebrate Christmas, we hope it's two weeks of just catching up on your rest and just stepping out of the rat race and the routine to take a deep breath and recharge.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Fala. Thank you, Ms. M.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a wonderful happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Yes.